Hi everyone, today I'll be doing a song review for Mick Jenkins's P's and Q's. This is Behind That Suit Reviews. We don't have a fun name for this track reviews project, so it's tentatively track reviews, where instead of doing the whole album, which takes a real long time, we're gonna go more track driven. I kind of want this to be more of a comment request, right? Because album reviews take forever, but if you do want us to do like a quick song and you think it's real cool and I check it out and I happen to agree with you that it's real cool, I'll take that time. I'll make a little video here. Helps me out because we get more videos on the channel. Helps y'all out because, for those who want to see me talk about something like Mick Jenkins's P's and Q's, I get to come through here and make that happen for y'all. So like the album reviews thing, it's a lot. So for that, there's the Patreon. So if you support what we do, you can check that out in the description below. Also, I make music myself, so if you feel that, you're curious to see if you feel what I do, you can check out links in the description. I dropped a track May 13th. I got another one coming June 24th. So I'd love to hear what you think about that. If you feel it, follow me on Spotify. That would be real dope. On that note, y'all are here for this Mick Jenkins track review. So the reason I'm actually doing this track is in response to a dude whose name I can't really pronounce, so I apologize for butchering this, but Ravao Krimpej. Dude asked me to check this out. He basically sold it like it's an innovative use of creativity, something that should get some attention. I checked it out. I saw it was a couple minutes long. That was a little dope because I like the shorter ones sometimes when I'm trying to get a quick video done. But I also saw the concept of the song. So it really inspired me to want to do this. And keep in mind, we've done actually a couple of Mick Jenkins album reviews. So like if you want to check those out, we did his I think Chris did The Circus and I joined Chris and did Pieces of a Man. So we have like 2 reviews already down for Mick Jenkins. But basically, I read this little comment here that was done with an interview with Milkmaid where Mick Jenkins, and I'm quoting here, he says, "There's really classic hip-hop songs like Nas's Rewind or Jay-Z's 22 Twos where they use literary devices to get their point across, and I wanted to experiment with that. I couldn't really think of too much, but I knew the phrase, I've been on my P's and Q's, and that's really how I feel about the music. I've been putting it out, and I tried to go with the alliteration. It turned out pretty well. There's actually a ton of P words, and we wanted to do the video to portray the same thing in the video, that nothing can stop or faze me, and that's what all the chaos was supposed to represent, because yeah, the video is him kind of walking and a bunch of stuff's happening, and he's just determined he goes through. It is literally not my favorite video, but whatever, we keep on moving. It's the chaos of moving through the arenas and all these people and these influences and all these decisions and just remaining cool, calm, and focused throughout it all. So I kind of like that. I kind of like that he really wanted to leave like a mark and kind of come through. And it also made me think of like Numerical Slaughter or Alphabet Slaughter. Sorry, Numerical Slaughter was the most recent Papoose one, but Alphabet Slaughter. And it's just like these little niche tracks that kind of do a real special thing that just shows an impressive mastery of English to pull off, right? Like to play up on alliteration isn't simple. Like to also, as we'll come to see, to do it in such a way where you move the narrative forward and you're actually saying stuff is not actually simple. So I thought that was really impressive that he came through. In general, I'm not sold that these like kind of niche songs as they are my favorite in the scope of things, but when they're done real well, they're extremely impressive. I don't find they have a lot of replayability for myself, but I also find them really impressive. So for the short time I spend with them, I find them really cool. Anyway, the beat's alright. I really enjoy listening to it. Kind of got me going. So good job, Kate Trinata. I do enjoy the production I've heard from Kate Trinata so far. Although don't ask me to tell you what tracks they are. I just know that the name triggers happy feelings in my brain. But either way, he starts off the track and he's like, "Still drinking water on y'all, man." Which is probably, it's apparently a reference to his last project, which was called Waters. It was a mixtape, The Waters, sorry. And so it's a very important concept to him to have water flow through it. And water is an important element in terms of symbolism for all the stuff it represents. But don't ask me about that. Oh, before I get into the track, I actually went to a wiki page so I could read a couple. Well, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I wanted to know where "mind your P's and Q's" comes from, because it is a phrase that kind of represents, applying perfection, watching your grammar, watching your manners, making sure you're doing things correctly. It's being cautious. So in effect, by minding your P's and Q's, you end up delivering a higher quality product in your life. So that's why I can see what he's saying with his raps when he's delivering his P's and Q's, being up on that. It's because he takes that time to be cautious and aware and focused and practiced. Effectively, where this comes from is first used from a poem by Charles Churchill published in 1763, and in the midst of this, it's basically attributed to the alphabet song. So on all occasions next to the chair, he stands for service of the mayor and to instruct him how to use his A's and B's and P's and Q's. So it was essentially just kind of like how we go to ABCs. Well, once upon a time, they went to A's and B's and P's and Q's. Another idea and thought has to do with the print press and etc., like how P's and Q's are similar. So effectively, you need to be a little cautious, but people think that one's a little bit hyperbolic. And then there's also one where there's P and Q, which represents the highest quality, and it believes that it's more of a shorthand, poorer version to be P and Q's to kind of represent higher quality. So understanding all of that, I thought it was super nifty, because obviously Mick Jenkins was aware of the different definitions when he came into it, choosing to attribute that to his work ethic. As far as the rhyming goes, it's dope. It's a high energy, upbeat, kind of slamming through it, right? And the alliteration is off the jump, like with perfect pitch. That's alliteration. I'm singing free, my polished and purposeful. He's producing pristine pictures. Pay me, give me plenty. The trees begot keys. That's papers will hold the pennies. I'm pressed like I'm like pest, and like I'm in every nook and cranny. So that's cool. I love the way it sounds. I love the adherence to great rhyming, right? So with perfect pitch, he's singing free as peeps. So he could have used peeps there, and it would have been an extra P. Look at that. Anyway, he's kind of, so perfect pitch just means you sing well and but like flawlessly, like pristine, like perfectly and whatever, but he's polished and purposeful, so he's got driven and intent, and he's producing pristine pictures, so his words create this tapestry of beautiful art. Because of that, you should pay him, give him a lot. The trees begat keys. So I don't 1,000% know what that means, so I'm gonna move on. That's paper, so hold the pennies. So, give him paper, don't give him cheap shit. So I like it. It's obviously that's what the niche of this track is. Whole lot of P's, not as many Q's. Yo, on YouTube, somebody counted it's like 110 P's and like 22 Q's or whatever in terms of the words he uses. Moving along, it's like, so he's oppressed and like pest, he's in every nook and cranny, which is cool because, ants and pests and stuff are all around, but kind of like him in the sense that his social presence maybe, or his work is just so widespread that you can't avoid him. And then your pantry with some patience, your panties, I got patience, is prevalent in the previous plannings. So basically, he's kind of hiding out everywhere, and if he's patient, he'll get up in your panties, which is fun. It's a good approach. It's a good way to actually score. And then he does have patience, and which is proven by the work he's delivered in the past. Anyway, I've been on my P's and Q's. Fuck this is a quiz, or fuck is this a quiz? Peep this passion. I'm not picking him to quit. Watch him paint, ain't it quaint? All the presence and pen, he be pearling all that wisdom, all the pressure to beat his sin. So here it's almost like he's kind of questioning what the fucking point of the song is, almost a little satirically, like, what is this? All this P's and Q's nonsense. A quiz? I thought that was a little funny. But then he's like, nah, check it. This is me doing my art, putting this shit together, showing you the culmination of my skill and my talent. I mean, that's effectively what he's saying, but with a lot of P words, really drilling it home. Anyway, pearlescent silver lining through the questions I've been quilting together. We got some cues. I mean, don't get me wrong. There was quit and quaint and quiz, but I like the fact that we started getting a little Q alliteration going on. So still, it's pretty good. Kind of sees how it's almost like through wisdom he's resisting sin, and that is almost a silver lining that has allowing him to find and navigate through the murky waters that is life. People quiver in the cold, you quit for the weather. Of course I'm equipped. I'm sure y'all counted that as a Q word. That's a fucking E word. Fuck that. It's not a Q word. Anyway, people quiver in the cold, you be quit for the weather. Nah, it's a E word. Anyway, when there's polar and it's piercing through your sweater to your chest, how you persevere and press on through your quest. So I like that. When it gets hard, how you gonna deal with the situation using the imagery of icy weathers? But yo, I'm up in Montreal. We know all about the cold. Because literally, we know all about the cold. It gets real fucking chilly up in here. Some points we get some Arctic weathers because we're an island surrounded by a bunch of water. So if you understand how the weather works, we gonna get cold and humid. But I think he's more talking to stormy weathers of trying to make it through your grind and whatnot. So it's real dope. I've been on my P's and Q's. Can't you see I do not play? And a pocket full of quotes. Pray you perceive it in the way I intended. I am preaching, but I'm never that pretentious, not pretending. Quasimodo, how my back is, I've been bending. I've been lifting all the pounds, break it down, pass it around. That's dope. So effectively, he's like, I'm on my P's and Q's using a representation of his grind and the excellence he pursues. You know, he's saying, can't you see I don't fuck around or whatever? I'm serious with it, and I pack my bars full of quotables, which kind of, yeah, I'll give it to him. Mick Jenkins is a very lyrical dude, and I can't quote anything right now. If you ask me, gun to my head, I couldn't, but I do dig what I've heard of him. Anyway, so he's kind of hoping that when you hear the music, you're gonna interpret it in the way that he wants, but he's also kind of commenting that while he's putting out a message, he's not pretentious with it. He's not being preaches. He's just kind of being what he is, a broken man, kind of going through all it is through the efforts of hard work and just kind of putting it around. And I like when he goes, break it down. I've been lifting all the pounds, representing like effort or whatever, but then break it down, pass it around, kind of doubling as a weed bar. That's pretty dope. Politicking with my peoples, with my partners that did my rounds. Quality is what we seek. I'm not playing till we peak. Quintessential to survival and to cunning to compete. You pick defeat if your efforts only be passive aggressive. Be my pleasure. Let it fly like attached to propellers. I don't know, same kind of shit. Me and my peeps is grinding on proper. We do it right. We the good ones. Quintessential is a great word. It kind of represents the bare essence and perfect example of something. So real cool. If y'all go against them, you're picking defeat, etc., etc. And I mean, there's a lot of not P and Q words in this track, enough to make me go, I totally appreciate the core premise of it, but it is certainly no alphabet slaughter for the niche he's going for. I'm not trying to take away from how dope the track is. It's just, as I'm reading these words out, there's a whole bunch of non-P's and Q's words. That's all I'm saying. I'm just spitting it as I'm thinking it. I still love the guy's writing. He's a poet a la Max, and I'm not trying to take it away from it. Anyway, man, fuck all the guys, and I'm too persistent, and they could tell us, huh? I've been on my P's and Q's, quantum leaps ahead of my peers. They're not even in my peripheral. Pray I keep it proper. So, you know, he's not interested in the fake shit. He's grinding. He keeps it consistent. And, yo, like I said, we've touched his, like, new music. And, yes, he's pretty fucking dope. I would argue he is of a higher pedigree. He is so quality. He is so deep and so, like, proper with it that he did not achieve, like, you know, the millions of fans that he probably deserves. Maybe he has millions. I don't fucking know. Let's double check real quick while I'm here. He currently has 1,000,005 monthly followers. I'm wrong. So millions is not where he's at. But what I meant was more like a lot more millions than that. So respect on breaking the million here. So you clearly have millions of fans. That's not what I was trying to, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I feel like this guy is one of those dudes that when people go, real hip-hop doesn't exist anymore, like, those fuckers should be checking out a dude like Mick Jenkins, because he really does exist. I'm just being a little bit of a shit with regards to the number of P's and Q's I'm kind of joking on right here. Anyway, because the truth is, Mick Jenkins is peddling this penmanship. It's real good writing. That's something I will not forget about him. I appreciate the pleasantries, but it's quiet for y'all. I mean, y'all know I've been on point with it. Ain't even got to smoke a joint. I am getting high out the feet, and I'm just trying to make some coins with it. Educate my loins. You've been gifted like I pearled a couple of poinsettias. I mean, that's fine. He's just trying to do what he's got to do proper and elevate and do all this stuff to make music great with it. It's cool. I don't know. Not a lot to comment on it. I feel like not a whole lot of P's and Q's going up in that little section. So point, that was one. I'm just scanning. And then nothing till pearled. So we got a lot of bars in there without P's and Q's, that little filler section. And again, not hating. It's just for a guy who's into the, like, really, like, loves the alliteration, I'm just saying. Anyway, it's fine. He's back on his P's and Q's then. Quarantined is phrase. You could comprehend it better. What? What does that mean? Let's see what Genius says that means. To quarantine someone is to isolate it. It is a term used when referring to one's forced isolation or when a certain 19, if y'all catch my drift, locks us all at home. Say word, it's week 10 for me. I'll work from home. In order to prevent a disease they have from spreading to others. Mick is saying that if you isolate his lines, they are easier to understand rather than if you try to connect them at all, finding a meaning. Quarantine the phrase, you could comprehend it better, I guess. He could also be referring to the previous line being on his P's and Q's, which he repeated throughout the songs. He's further bringing attention to the line, telling the listener, that is the word, that is not a great, I don't understand that, breakdown. So it's either about the last line or it's about all his lyrics. It certainly can't be about all his lyrics. Some of these lines, if you isolate them, are just whatever. I've been on point with it. Why do I need to quarantine that phrase to comprehend it better? Or even on my P's and Q's. All right. Because I went ahead and did that, looked up what the word meant and whatever, that's cool, but there's only a few options here, like pounds and quarters. Okay, it could be about drugs. P's and Q's from a literary perspective, watching his language. P's and Q's from quality perspective, and then P's and Q's from being a respectful person. Sure, it's just, yeah, okay. That is a pretentious line compared to some of that other lyric where he's like, I'm not pretentious. I'm just saying. Bring phonetics into play. I'm no pharaoh. Message never mystical. Breath of antihistamine. I'm trying to heal the physical, requiring a pivotal stance from my man's. No, I'm not dolo. Provide you with the proof. It's never quid pro quo, though. That's my favorite one. Quid pro quo, though. That might be my favorite part of this whole song. Just the way he flows it. Sounds real nice, and that's some good QPQ action. But yeah, again, we're still fine here. He's going through. He's with his peeps. He's doing his shit proper, and there's not a lot going on. He's very straightforward, he says. That's cool. It's Free Nation. Please, no photos. Yeah, power to the people. Middle finger to the popo. Fair enough. This was a good track. It's very gimmicky. It's very niche. I love the way he writes, but I think that because of it's a good song, but the problem I'm facing with it is how much of it is lacking P and Q bars throughout the middle. Not to say a whole lot of it, but maybe I'm just being a little bit of a dick. It is a very impressive tune, and he does more or less stick to it the whole way through. It's very great. It is just that Ebonics is constant. You really look at some of these other examples that's out there, constant. This feels like 70% score of the theme of what he was going for, but as a song, it's pretty fire. So I'm giving it a 4.5 on 5 because the song's real dope. I had the concept hit 100, I'd probably give it a 5 on 5, but it hits 80% or so. That's where I'm at with this one. I hope y'all enjoyed this song review. Let me know what songs you want to see me review in the future. And inevitably, when I have some extra time and I'm trying to squeeze out my schedule a little bit, I'll bang out a couple of song reviews. Because, I'm looking at this. Not even 20 minutes to record this video. Wonderful. I can do a couple of these in the time of one podcast. Anyway, so if y'all dig the track reviews, y'all want to see more, let me know. I'm still going to deep dive it. I'm still going to top my ass out. That's what we do up in here. But I'm trying to find a way to get more videos out, to try to do it with less time, be a little more efficient with it so that I can go ahead and do things like finally beat Skyrim, because I'm finally at the one DLC where you go to that island that's shared with Morrowind and that's it. Then I have one quest where I go fuck up a dragon or something and I can sell that shit on Kijiji. I've been waiting 2 years. Anyway. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Subscribe to this for more reviews, more content, just stuff like this. And music, I guess. We make music, so you can check that out in the description. All the links to all that. Special thanks to the patrons, Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Power, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black Hurricane, Lindo Williams, Scribble, and Carl. They dope. They support what we do. They get reviews. And yeah, if you support us, that's the best way you can help us down there. And subscribing also helps too. That makes you cool. Anyway, thank y'all again. I really appreciate you being here with me. Live long and prosper, everyone.